another episode of Sai's Eyes. We're continuing to take a look at SaiOS, my life operating system. And within that last few episodes, we've been taking a look at my wisdom, which is basically my second brain, or my knowledge and my wisdom of everything that I've accumulated over, well, this is over only the last 1-2 years since I've started to take more detailed notes and all that stuff. But this is my repository and brain dump and thoughts and ideas and notes and everything. And so the last vault in here that I've named as vault, or a specific type of vault, is called the wisdom vault. And if you've been listening to the last few episodes, I've referenced it quite a bit. And so what is that? And I'm sure you may have gotten some insight, or you can maybe guess what it is, but it's essentially the thought, before we go into the actual database itself, from what August Bradley had mentioned, right? It's the point of the wisdom vault is to get knowledge, or to access knowledge that you've already written down or already noted or something, to access that as quickly as possible and at the right time, for it to surface at the correct time and place. So what does that mean? So a lot of times we'll be taking notes, and a lot of times it's organized by, we'll have the title of the notes, let's say, right? But then it's categorized chronologically. And then as we go on through life, as we go on through the days, weeks, months, and years, the notes that you took last year may not be easily accessible, right? Based off of what you were trying to, just because you've taken so many notes, you've accumulated so much knowledge that it goes on the back burner, and it may be relevant information now, right? Maybe you are working on something now that you weren't really thinking about a year ago, but there's relevant knowledge for it that you took notes on last year, and you need it now, right? Now you have to dig through all these notes. Maybe you had, it was spread out over a series of notes, and you got to dig into this note, you got to dig into, a note that you took last week, you got to dig into a note that you took last month, maybe last year, 2 years ago, etc., as you continue building a system out, right? But what if you could access those notes based off of the category, or the area, or the industry, or the section of life that you're currently thinking about, right? Let's say you've read a book on business and you've taken some good notes in there. And then 2 years later you read another, let's say you consume a good podcast that you've taken a lot of notes on as well, right? Normally, if you just followed maybe the old system, right, you would have to go into your book notes and then see, first of all, find your book notes, see where that is. You would have to almost remember when you took those notes, right, if it's ordered chronologically. And then let's say the podcast notes, you'd have to remember the podcast title or when you listened to it, etc., to find those. But they're not combined, right? But let's say in this system, you have a tag as business, right? Then you can just have a relation to both that book that you read that's relevant to that topic of business, as well as that podcast that you listen to that is relevant to that topic of business. And then you can easily link out and then go through all of your business notes, right? All right, these are the relevant books that help me within this category of business. These are the relevant courses that I've taken that are relevant to that. These are the relevant pieces of content, media content that I've consumed, etc. These are my random thoughts that I've had. That's not necessarily tied to anything, but it can be tied if it's viewed in the right, frame of mind, or in the right view, right? So that is the real essence of this. So instead of having to review all of your notes on, whatever cadence would be there, right? Instead of all right, let me review my notes from last year. If it doesn't really make sense to just be reviewing notes every so often if it's not really relevant to what you're working on or what you're thinking about, right? Obviously, it can provide that source of inspiration and creativity, but it's not as organized. So what this wisdom vault, or in August's framework, it's, I believe, called the knowledge vault. So in my wisdom vault, you just have the name, so which is essentially the tag that is the tag of, or the category, the section, right? So I read it off before when I was going through my overall wisdom section, but I'll read a few of them off again. It's like autobiography, blogging, body, business, communication, creativity, design, diet and nutrition, education, economic, fashion, fiction, financial, health, history, leadership, LGBTQ, marketing, meditation, mind, music, parenting, personality, relationships, social media, side hustle, spirituality, success, sustainability, volunteering, writing, technology. So these are all these are not comprehensive for sure, but this is a long list of different topics of books that I've consumed, of media that I've consumed, courses that I've taken. So, and obviously I will be continuing to add to these, but it's essentially just organizing all the notes that I've taken and kind of putting it into specific buckets, right? And then, so that's the first field here. Then the database structure here is very simple, because literally all of the other fields are just relations. Because what this wisdom vault is just relations. It's almost a central hub of all your wisdom, right? Organized by that topic. And so if there's a topic on, let's say, health, right? I have something filled in for Book Vault there, which is for Celery Juice book that I read last year, right? So if I wanted to go through all my health notes, I can open up that health page within this wisdom vault and see, all right, what are all the things that I've have under health, right? I can see Book Vault. I have Celery Juice. I actually don't have anything filled out here since I have not updated in a bit. But let's say I have any courses that I've taken on health. All right, if I have any media things, pieces of content that I've consumed, that would be good for health. I would tag that in there with the link, right? So then I can easily just click, when I'm in this health page, I can easily just click through to that piece of media and see the notes associated with that. And if there's any relevant things that I want to copy, paste, or synthesize into this general health page, I can do that. And so all of these are relations. The other fields, all of them except for two, are relations. So there's a wisdom vault relation. Also, actually, let me get to that one later. So there's the affirmations relation. If there's any affirmations that are relevant to that. Any book vault, course vault, media vault, thought vault, habits and practices, projects, and then tools, services, and subscriptions, which I'll get to later. But essentially, these are all relations. So essentially, it's one central hub, one central repository divided by topic, which makes it easier to resurface what you're looking for when you're looking for it, instead of having to dig deeper. And so the other two fields here are content links and files. So if there's any links that I want to be adding based off of these, I can add them in here. But I haven't filled that out necessarily. I would probably just use just a notes section within each page of the row entry there. And then template-wise, I need to build this out since I don't keep up with it as much as I should. But everything's being accumulated. I just haven't taken the time to do any admin and housekeeping of actually relating all the content to my wisdom vault. But all the pieces are there. I just would need to just put the pieces of the puzzle together. But right now, the template is just a drop-down for the thought vault if there's any relation there, which I haven't actually built out, and then a table of contents if I do start building it out. Then I can section it out. I can just quickly link and click through to what piece of content or what piece of notes that I want to be getting to based off of that topic. So what I skipped over briefly was a wisdom vault relation within this own wisdom vault. So what does that mean? So in addition to the relations with the other databases, in Notion you can also have a relation to the existing database itself. And so you can do that in two different ways. One is kind of like a parent-child relation. If you've used Asana or familiar with Scrum, it's like kind of that parent task and child task, right? So you can have it set up like that, or you can just have it, one-to-one relation. They're on the same level. And so that's what I created here. And so I have one entry in this wisdom vault called diet and nutrition. And within this own, self-referencing wisdom vault relation field, I have health, which is also a topic within this wisdom vault, and body, which is also a section, an entry of this wisdom vault. And so let's say I'm in the diet and nutrition one, and so I've actually have to fill this out. So diet and nutrition. Some of these, I have foods to learn here. So some foods I've not attempted yet, but these are good, recipes or meals that I want to be creating. And then I have attempted and links all down here, right? Of this matar paneer or this baked falafel or this buffalo cauliflower tacos, which I have cooked at some point. The success rate, I don't know, but I have attempted each of these. But and I have a table of contents with each of those sections. But then let's say I want to see, all right, this is diet and nutrition specifically. What other things are related to diet and nutrition? I can go straight into body, let's say, and then I can see, all right, these are related but not fully the same thing, right? Within diet and nutrition, maybe there's specific things on the body that I've taken notes on, or I've read books on, or listened to content on, or taken courses on. And so you can easily jump around between different sections within this wisdom vault as you build it out. And of course, some of these are a little bit redundant, so I'll have to go in and clean it up and see what makes the most sense. But I think as I continue adding, there will be more things that are, if there's a little bit of overlap, I'm sure that'll be a sign for me to consolidate. But yeah, so that is an overview of my wisdom vault. So essentially, this is one of the most important things within this whole framework, this life operating system, because I can access things very quickly when I need it to, when I want to, right? And not based on chronological order. I don't need to be waiting. I don't need to be searching through all my notes on a topic. And I can quickly link out, I can quickly access those pieces of media or books that I've consumed that are related to that topic, right? And so it's just much easier central access point from which I can access all these things. And so highly recommend. Obviously, I haven't even fully utilized this system yet, and it's already pretty valuable. And so once I actually can build it out fully and relate between all the wisdom vault and affirmations and all the other vaults and stuff, that's when I'll realize the full potential of it. So I'm still trying to realize that, but it's already valuable as is. So hopefully you found this valuable, listening to me kind of explain my wisdom vault and the thought process behind it, because the actual database setup of it is pretty simple, but it's the underlying intention behind setting it up is a real key there. So thank you again for listening to another episode of Sai's Eyes. The next few episodes we'll be taking a look I'm almost finishing up here in this Life Operating System series, where I'll be taking a look at my other databases, and then taking a look at my content pipeline. So if you found this valuable, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, etc. And yep. So thanks for listening to another episode of SaiOS. I'll see ya when I see ya.